Today makes me very vulnerable because I'm going to have to discuss business. It's just that part of the journey that we filmed, that part where an attorney came into my life. And when you're building a corporation, it's important that you know about those things. But to take you back a little bit, originally in Dallas, I was approached with a reality television show, the concept of being a hairstylist, and rather than staying just in the salon, I would actually meet up with clients in their home, in their work environment, be it the trailer park, be it they lived in a mansion, wherever we could find these survivors to articulate a story, their past being sexual abuse, their adult being sexually suppressed and what they've overcome, drug addicts, alcoholics, obesity, porn addictions, abusive relationships. However, this had an effect on their life, to be able to articulate back a story for the world to see on television. And I would be the hairstylist slash friend, therapist that made them over from the inside out. And often in the salon, that's what I do. I know people's problems. I have to become a friend to them, someone that they trust, they can open up to. And it is about spending time together and looking to rebuild them from the inside out. So, talking about this part of the journey today, it makes me very vulnerable because for 23 years of my life, I've been a self-employed hairstylist, and so I just have a sole proprietorship. I don't know about corporation. I did not know about LLC, and I surely to goodness, you know, my tax guy was just the little tax guy rolling out simple paperwork, not having to have quarterly meetings and working a direct corporation. And as far as an attorney in my life, the only time I've ever had one's during a divorce. Other than that, I felt like I didn't need one. So as I meet up with an attorney, we start to build and really decide what we need for this corporation. And that's where Ashley Paul came into my life, and she began to really mentor me, and we begin to build the JustUS empire.
Have you? I know you found an artist to do this, but have you worked with a marketing company yet who's going to be doing social media and whatnot?
I'm doing it all myself. It's hard for me to let that go because I really like that marketing. I really like doing that. I think one of the reasons I'm where I'm at, Ash, and I'm successful where I'm at, is because somehow God gave me this either big mouth and not to be afraid, or He really blessed me to know publicity and marketing. Right. And many people have to hire for that. Like, they don't understand the concept.
Right.
I'll tell you something. I told Isabel the other night, I said, if you need me to go buy, like, pick some grass out of the yard and go buy some rolling papers, and you get behind the tree and me act like I'm smoking a joint, and us put that out in tabloids, for this dream, I would do that, because in my heart, people know who I am. They know my morals, they know my values, they know who I am. But whatever I had to do, and I think people are so worried about what society thinks that's why they're not good at publicity and marketing.
Right.
So it's hard for me. I know there's going to come a time that somebody's got to work those things, but right now I really enjoy doing that.
Eventually, when this grows to be bigger, just understand that you're going to have to delegate at some point. And it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to give up your words, but maybe the timing, or you have someone help you with, like, for example, there's Hootsuite or there's Social Oath that you can pre-plan tweets, you can pre-plan Facebook posts, and so you can sit down and do 2 weeks worth of postings and all of that in one day, so that you're off building other things. So there's tools that you can use, and there's people who can help you with that. So just be aware that don't get so bogged down with the I want to do it myself that you're not delegating and becoming bigger somewhere else.
Ashley first came into my life as a client, and when you're living by faith, you have this dream, and you don't have a budget, then you do depend on the people around you to help and kind of guide you and direct you where you need to go. So even though I love the concept of the reality show, and if they approached me right now, when given the opportunity, I will take it and say yes. But back then I was scared. I just had this whole idea. I had now founded and written out what sexual suppression was, a state in which the conscious mind excludes itself during an encounter of sexual abuse. I knew that it had a logo now. I knew that that needed to be trademarked, that the whole conceptual idea, intellectual property, that it needed to be protected by copyrights or by the Writers Guild with some type of protection up to 5 years or more, so that we could get this rolling. And so Ashley just kind of invited me into her office, and I began to say to her, what do I need? Do I need a LLC? Do I need an S Corp? You know, I need your help because I don't know where to start. I don't know how to build to protect myself, to protect this empire that I believe in. And by this time I had started to buy up every .com you can imagine. I think I own like 15, 16 .coms, everything from author StacyK to sexual abuse inspiration to sexual abuse transformation to StacySnap.com, sexualsuppression.org, info TV, if you name it, we own it in sexual suppression. And I knew that one thing I wanted to do was make billions of dollars. Now, I'm not a greedy person. Anybody who knows me knows that I give back. And it's not about being greedy. It's about the more money that you bring in this entertainment industry, then the more money I have to spend. And the more money that I can spend, the more lives that we can save and we can reach. And this new message really create a change overall. And it may take 5 or 10 years, but my vision was to create a change and not think about sexual abuse in a bad, negative way, but to see the survivors and the inspiration and leave behind a legacy, leave behind to children. You know, maybe they heard that one story on a YouTube channel, or maybe they heard that one story that came across the media, and they really got to see that powerful men and women have a past that doesn't define them. As a matter of fact, it inspires them. She was like, no, God told me to do this for you. And so there it comes to life. All right, here's my umbrella, right?
Your umbrella, okay.
This has to be trademarked.
Okay, now is the JustUS what you want to trademark, or the logo?
I want to trademark the Justice Love That logo.
Okay.
Write it out, speak it out, pray it out.
Okay.
Or write it out, pray it out, speak it out. Heck, we hadn't figured that out yet. Right now, over the next 2 years, really don't know if I got 2 years, but because right here's the movement. Here's where I feel like we're at right now.
Okay.
You know, I feel like sexual suppression has to be trademarked. I feel like we're starting now. This personality, StacyK, is releasing to media. I mean, in 2 weeks, we've done 3 radio shows, Will. In 2 weeks, we've done 3 radio shows.
Okay.
And so it's you know, it's a movement.
Right.
It's one step at a time. It's slowly, but it's also meeting this personality.
Right.
This, The Making of a Dream, is what we're filming right now with Will.
But it's going to be your documentary.
The documentary. So we're going to film all of this.
Okay.
So Will's planning on, we're planning on filming for, what, Will?
For about 2 years? Year and a half?
Year and a half, and then 6 months of editing.
Okay.
So in 2 years,
right,
when we put the documentary out, then we move into like, what's your merchandise? How do you make money? Because the documentary, the interviews, the sexual suppression, I can work for 2 years and give us things to film about.
Right.
But then there's going to come a time when we need to generate money.
Right.
So I want to do first my book.
Okay.
Which is Be Beautiful Being You.
Okay.
I want to do a series of children's books, which is My Body, My Temple.
Okay.
And then JustUSLove.org is going to just be the central network for survivors letters, for bumpers, for merchandise, for that's going to be the heartbeat of it all. The JustUSLove.org. Ashley, being a family law attorney, inspired me and helped me more than I could ever repay. Her information was priceless to me, simply because my vision for JustUS was that we would articulate stories through media, through YouTube. God blesses me with a reality show. I want to work with survivors. Like, I want to work with survivors, and I'm not going to settle for less. And so I got to listen to Ashley's job and her articulate the men and women as a family law attorney that she works with. So she uses this story of Jane, who's just to articulate back to me an example, not one of her clients, but something that she deals with. And so she gets to talking about how these women who could have been sexually abused or molested as children, that they're growing up. And when you're a child and you've had something happen to you, you lose all self-esteem. So number one, we overdevelop dramatic personalities. We draw people to us because it fills us up. It makes us feel accepted and important. We also have a tendency to attract to us relationships that are very destructive, that bring us down, because we don't have self-esteem. We don't think we're worthy to really have a man wine and dine us, or really have a faithful woman in our lives. And so we have a tendency that we think because we've survived sexual abuse and we're not that child laying there with the perpetrator coming in at night or being exposed to some way when the lights go out to sex, we think in our minds because we've married now and we have children that we've overcame that past. But the truth is the cycle continues on in ourselves, because when you don't care for yourself and when you surround yourself with violence or intimidation or fear, or you create relationships where you're walking around on pins and needles, or you live in a glass house and oh my God, don't let there be a crack because the whole place is going to fall. When you set yourself up for that, you're really setting yourself up for failure. But because in your mind you don't think you're worthy of anything more or much less, then you settle for that. And the abuse continues in the cycle, not because now you're married to a man that's sexually abusing you, but now you're married to a man that's physically abusing you. So what I really learned from Ashley is the people that she deals with, there is a truth in being sexually abused, molested, and raped as a child. There is a truth in a CPS system. There is a truth in a family law attorney that goes into the courts, and when CPS pulls the children from a mother's home in this situation, she does need represented, but that's where I come in. Like, I want to say to her, you know, you want to get your children back, you're going to have to be on your own for a while and rebuild yourself. So I'm grateful for Ashley and the time that she spent with me, because she definitely guided my way in this industry of protecting me, but also focused my attention for the people that I truly wanted to inspire and make a difference. And I knew at that point in time that there was a voice. I needed to make a stand in as far as court cases and CPS, but I wasn't going to be able to do it unless I built an empire of survivors so that I could share stories of people who had really changed the lives of those around them and made a difference in their own life.
To be a part of your mission is educating women on the fact that this is an addiction. It's a mental disorder. My client, we'll call her Jane, she can't see that this particular man that she had 2 children with is an abuser, is never going to change. She's stuck in that rut of thinking, oh, but he loves me. I told Jane, don't be around this man. Don't have any contact with him whatsoever. Well, slowly but surely, he worked his way back into her world, and he invited her to go have lunch to talk about the kids who are in the custody of her parents because CPS got involved after all the domestic violence. And the addiction part of her said, oh, well, it's just lunch. It's just lunch. And before you know it, she let her guard down for a moment, And suddenly he's stalking her again. Suddenly he's in the parking lot at work again.
So why was Jane's kids taken? Was he physically violent?
He was physically violent with her. And you will see it's very typical, and again, she has not admitted to me whether or not she was in fact sexually abused or molested as a child. But it is very typical of these women to psychologically replace that family member who may have abused them with a significant other or a paramour who has the same activity, thinking, well, this is love, this is comfort, this is what I'm familiar with.
Okay, so I'm proud to announce I have a CPA and I have a corporation and I have worked through Ashley with an entertainment attorney. We have all of the conceptual idea and the intellectual property. It's protected. I have a certificate to prove it. I've worked very, very hard over the past year. And I have my first employee with the JustUS Love Corporation. Josh, that's you. You're going to be my first employee. And anyway, everything's going great. I don't know where I'm going, but let me tell you something. Now, if y'all want to call up and ask me about a reality show, now I'm ready. Now I got like my T's crossed and my I's dotted, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm not scared anymore. I have learned to take a leap of faith and just trust in God and know that the vision that I see, if I keep talking about it, eventually you're all going to believe with me. So wherever God takes me, I'm ready to go.
Just remember his name. Remember his name so that way he and I can chat. Because sometimes a CPA will want you to have a shell corporation to take care of other aspects. I would like to see you do one corporation that you own that operates other corporations. For example, the JustUS Love, that can be one. The StacyK can be another. Your merchandising can be another. So that way it's controlling your liability. For example, if I don't know why this would happen, but if you ever had a friendship bracelet that hurt another person, they wanted to go sue the maker or the distributor, which would be you. Well, it's under that smaller corporation, not the JustUS Love, which is making a little bit more money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that way...
So we're going to do S corporations on all of them?
S corporation has a little bit more to do with the way your income flows and the way the income is handled. Your liability that you're looking to diminish is covered by an LLC, but an LLC can be an S corp.
Okay.
So you're looking for a business structure that's going to protect you from potential lawsuits.
So where's my next move in the next 2 weeks when I come back? Do I need to have by then my CPA?
Give me the name of the CPA so that way we can maybe discuss.
I haven't even been to see him.
You haven't even been to see him yet? The question is going to be, well, first of all, when do you anticipate bringing money in for these projects, or were you still just in development phase?
I would say right now we're probably going to be in development for the next 6 months.
Okay. So you're not looking to bring in any money that's going to have to be accounted for and reported to the IRS and that sort of thing right now?
No, my only concern is trademarks right now.
Right. Trademarks.
Because when you're moving media and things are moving so fast, social network, I just want to make sure
that you're covered and it's protected and your ideas are secure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the business formation and the beginning of the copyright and the trademarking, that can be done together.
Okay. So I can just continue to do radio and film, and there's nothing more you need from me for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Not for the next 2 weeks. No.
Okay.
So awesome. I'm excited.
Let's go eat.